Hi, my name is Juan Rodriguez, and I'm a full-time professor of cyber at SUNY Westchester. I also work as an adjunct at Government Community College and as an instructor for workforce development at City College. I teach security, server, programming, a little bit of programming. I teach networking. I teach the CompTIA A+ course. I love teaching. I've been teaching for 7 years, and it is the best decision that I've ever made. My first job, first real job, I was a data entry person at this restaurant and real estate company. And I used to type pretty fast, so by 2 o'clock I was done. It was a gentleman there, his name is Ramon Peña. He saw me one day and he said, "What are you doing the rest of the day? I always see you finish like at 2 o'clock. And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm just here." He goes, "Do you want to learn how to fix computers?" And I said, "Sure." And he was the one who taught me, this is back in 1990, how to work on and fix computers. So from there, I went and worked for a nonprofit. I was the only computer tech, so with the vendor helping me, we did the network, right? This was back in 1996, 97, not everybody had networks. So I was able to build a network inside the office, and that was a great experience for me. My advice to people is, if you want to work somewhere where the pay's not that great, but you be able to do a lot of things on your own, work for a nonprofit. They will take a risk on you. I worked there for a couple of years. Then I worked 15 years for a news release company. When I tried to get another job, I kind of realized that, yeah, the technology has left me behind. A friend of mine advised me, "Listen, why don't you take a course?" So I took the CompTIA A+ and Network Plus, put that on my resume, and then applied to graduate school as cyber in the cybersecurity program. I got in Mercy College, now Mercy University. And when I was there was a teacher there, Dr. Drini. She took me aside one day and she said, "What are you planning on doing after you finish?" I said, I'm gonna get another job, work as a tech. She said, "No, you should teach." And I'm like, "Why?" She says, "I see the way you are with the other students." She said, "You're a teacher, you're not a tech." And she helped me get my first job teaching Security Plus. And I became a high school teacher, and I was a high school teacher in Newark, teaching computers. I absolutely loved that job. It was not just teaching computers, teaching about life, how you need to act, how do you need to represent yourself when you're out there. I would have stayed there and I would have been more than happy being a high school teacher, but I got an opportunity to be a college professor at SUNY Westchester, and I decided to take that. And I've been there, this is my 5th year, and I absolutely love my job. Some of the CompTIA courses that I teach and I have in the past are fundamentals, A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus. One of the first things that I do in my security class, I give them a scenario that actually happened in real life. I tell them, what would happen if you get an email at 10 o'clock saying, at 2 p.m., please delete this person from all systems because they're getting fired. And then you look at the name and it's your best friend. What will you do? And then I try to gas it up a little bit. I'll say, well, he got you the job. That's your godfather of your kids. He loaned you money. Just trying to get the students to change their mind. And you see different students give you different reactions. So I try to incorporate those type of stories. And the kids really like it. My students like it. When they take the exam, they say, "Oh yeah, I remember the story that you said," so I was able to get that answer right. Certifications are very important. It's an exam that validates what you have learned. And the CompTIA one is a really good one because it's non-neutral, right? They don't have anything in the game, right? It's unlike Cisco, Cisco has it, Microsoft has it, but they sell products. CompTIA doesn't sell any products, so they're more widely known. Federal government loves them, state government loves them. So those are good certifications, valid certifications to have for students, especially students. I teach at a community college. Once they get the 2 years, they can go and they leave with 1 or 2 certs. They can go get a job and then have that job pay for the last 2 years of their college by also making money at the same time. When I was in graduate school, actually, there was a fellow student, and she had very little, I think she was an English major. When we graduated, she got a job as a security analyst in Newark, making $50,000. She was severely underpaid, and we talked about it. I said, we'll do it for a year and see what happens. And a year later, she got another job in the city, making $87,000, and now she works for a top bank, making over $100,000 in just like 3 years. And she did not know about IT when she first went into the program. So she did her thing, she studied. These CompTIA exams, they're not easy, and that's why I like them, right? Because if they were easy, everybody would have them, and then it dilutes it. Not everyone can pass. You really have to study. There's a strategy for it, but you really have to study for this exam. I like to introduce them to A+. Every now and then you get someone who wants to start here, and I tell them, nah, let's start here, right? Don't skip the line. The one advantage of getting the Security Plus is a lot of companies will take you with no experience if you have that cert. They want you as a clean slate, blank slate, tabula rasa, right? They want you to not have any what they call bad habits from other companies that you may have worked with doing security. So that's one big advantage that Security Plus has. The federal government or government contractors will hire you just because you have it, even without any experience. You learn different type of attacks, network attacks, web attacks, social engineering, how to prevent that. The biggest threat is your own employees. That's the biggest threat. It's not the guy in the basement. It's the guy who has access to your system and it has a keyboard and is sitting right in front of it. He is the most dangerous person that you have to worry about. And you have to train your employees of things to do and not to do at work, because they will sink you. And I've seen that. You'll see things way before other people know. And it's your job to not talk about it, right? You know who's getting fired, you know who's getting hired. Confidentiality is really big, and there's a level of trust when you become a tech. There's a trust there, and if you violate that trust, they have no use for you. You cannot violate that trust. One of the biggest things that I tell my students is you have to invest in yourself, right? And what does that mean? That means you can't start this program or any program with IT with a computer that's 8 or 9 years old. Every 3 years, I get a new computer. I don't want to get caught right behind the curve when I need to teach a student how to do something and I can't even install it on my computer because it's too old. It's a little difficult with, as being an instructor, keeping up with the new technology. Sometimes the students actually tell us, like, ChatGPT, I heard it from a student, and I was like, boy, what's that? And then he sat down and he showed it to me. Plus, magazines and videos, keeping up, following people on LinkedIn, follow industry people and seeing the trends that are happening now. When somebody tries to get into tech, the one thing that I tell them is make sure you're getting into it because you want to do it. If you have a passion for it, if you're willing to go home and take your computer and take it apart and put it back together and install virtual machines and install a server and practice how to do all this stuff, that's a passion that you have. You have a passion for it. If you just want to do it for money because, I've read, my brother-in-law told me, my friend told me if I go into security, I'm going to make a lot of money. It's not going to work. Money is a motivator, but I think passion is the bigger one. One of my biggest rewards as a teacher, which was unexpected, is how much a teacher has an influence on the students' lives. And being able to have an email from a student or a former student say, you were able to change my life by telling me to take this exam and I passed. That is the best feeling in the world as a teacher. You can't beat that.